start. I will. Do you want me to add him now?
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Mr. Rivera, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Back. We met the other day in your driveway.
Ah, okay.
Okay. I see all the other board members up in front of you. And we'll discuss your installation of a new paver stone driveway.
Yes, that's the,
Okay. Just tell us what you'd like to do.
okay. So pretty much, the original driveway was a one-car driveway. And I want to expand it, make it a little wider, so I can fit two cars side by side, a little area to be able to walk up to my front steps as well. So that's what we're looking to do here. I don't know if you all have the diagram that I tried to sketch out to give a better idea of what I'm looking to do.
I believe most of us have your diagram.
Okay. The one thing that I was confused about or wasn't sure about, I was trying to collect data as I went because I really wasn't sure what to refer to, was the drainage situation. Because I know when you change the structure of the driveway, you have to be sure to contain your own drain water. That's correct, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. So I wasn't sure if it was sufficient enough to be able to drain it onto my property or if I needed to install a dry well. I wasn't sure if either one would fly or what was required by the village. So in my diagram, I basically put the worst case scenario where where I put a dry well with a channel drain. But in talking to my contractor, and if you refer to the diagram, I also have about 4.5 feet by, I guess it's like 37 feet alongside of my driveway where we'd be able to pitch it to that right side of the diagram, left side of my property. There's a strip of land that I'd be able to pitch the driveway to. So I don't know if that's acceptable. I could do that as well.
We have, but no, the pavers wouldn't have a border on it. Just a flush border.
Yeah, it would be a border, but it'd be flush with the regular level of the pavers. It would all be one level. It would be no Belgian blocks that are higher. It would be nothing like that.
All
Is
right.
that your property?
Let me see. I just got to that. No, that's across the street from me.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. No worries.
This is it here then?
Yeah, that's it right there. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at it. We are looking for you to keep the stormwater on your property as much as possible, correct?
Of course. No, of course. And I understand that.
So you would pitch it off to the 4.5 foot.
Yeah. So if we're looking at the house right here, it would be to the right side of my house. Right where that, I guess, yeah, just slightly to the right of that as well. A little further right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just talk quickly about the square footage of the area. Our quick calculations, we came up with 780 square feet of pavers.
Of the driveway. Let's see. I have it here.
Well,
Yeah, that's close. That's
what the 10 feet played 16 feet in the front of the house back. We take that out of the calculation.
Oh, okay.
Only
I gotcha.
because of we're looking at the 50. We were looking for 50% of green space on your front yard.
Okay.
Which with the quick calculations, it looks like you need. But one question we had was the walk. You have a 5 by 18 foot walk?
Yeah, so I wouldn't I wouldn't be changing anything of the structure of the walkway.
So the walkway, that is 18 feet from the street?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. All right.
Okay.
We like to see that 50%. You're less than 50% paved area.
Yeah, because on that other side, in front of my steps there, that whole grass area is not changing at all.
Right.
That'll stay the same.
Okay.
And what about the curb cut?
So the curb cut, if you look where the recycle bin is right there in the diagram,
Yeah,
that one is staying the same. Okay. The other one will be moving over probably about 3 or 4 feet just to create a little wider opening for the apron.
okay,
So you're opening the 19 feet is, that's enlarging this apron that's here now,
Exactly right. Exactly right.
but the finished width would be 19 feet.
Yeah, the opening, yeah. It might be like 18 and a half. It's 19 I overestimated a little bit, just to be safe.
All right. So the other, the code allows for like a 20-foot wide driveway. You want 26. In the past, we've allowed a 3-foot for a walk area next to it, like a 23-foot wide.
Okay.
Would that be acceptable to you?
I mean, is there any way we could negotiate to maybe 25 feet or I'm not trying to negotiate. It's just, the thing is I just want to be able to park 2 cars side by side and then
Right.
have just a walkway to be able to walk. Cause as it currently was here, I could barely fit my car on the driveway and I would have to walk on the grass to get to my steps. There was no sort of ability to get there,
what about, one of the things I've done in the past for people is to curve, like with the door, you don't need the whole length of the driveway to be that thickness, that width, just where the doors are to get in and out. Would you consider changing like the kind of curving the path?
If you could show me, I'm not really understanding what you mean, but
Try it. I'll, let's say here's your straight driveway. It just looked like I don't know, can you, something, a little bump.
like on the other side, like closer to the property, you mean?
Yeah, instead of having to have the full width, you kind of just curve it out and give it place so that you can, when you open the car door, you stand, you go. Plus, it also makes the driveway actually look a little less obtrusive.
Okay, so when it would be, I'm trying to visualize it. That's why, pardon me,
Instead of running a straight line up and down that 26 wide, and I'd have to ask, we have to ask, could you
I'm sorry.
have a 26 wide foot section, but then come down maybe to 22 feet or 20 feet?
So I actually, in the diagram, the main driveway area is 26, but the opening is 19, and then it becomes 26, but it goes from like 19 to 21, 22, and then to the 26. If you look at the right side of that, I turn to come in like this. So from
Kind of like a little bit what your neighbor is doing across the street is what you're saying.
Exactly right.
Is
Exactly.
like this. So it kind of.
Yeah.
So this kind of section, but obviously you're still going out a little bit further. You're going from 19 feet and you're increasing that too.
Yeah, just as I get to, a little further on my property, but from the beginning to, it's not 26 the whole way is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
You have it right behind the sidewalk, right?
Excuse me?
Right behind the sidewalk, it expands to 26 feet?
Yeah, it's a little further behind the sidewalk, yeah. It's probably I would say 3 to 3.5, 4 feet behind the sidewalk is where it gets to 26.
Anybody have any thoughts? Mac?
No.
Nope. Well, if we do
allow this to go to 26 feet, then it has to go to the zoning board of appeals. Is that correct?
It should go to ZBA, yes, for the final.
Yeah.
So with that, you have that option. Move to the ZBA and ask for relief from that code of 365-4F, the driveway with the minimum of 10, the maximum of 20.
Yeah, I think we should let the ZBA make the choice. Going to 26 from 20 is an awful big jump.
It is a big jump for.
What we
You
typically
understand
allow,
that,
so.
Rob, what they're talking about?
No, if you could
So
explain. that.
yeah, so the code says you can go up to 20 feet. And I think we can kind of stretch that a little bit by saying, okay, we're going to give you an extra 3 feet for a sidewalk to make it 23. And if
Okay.
that's acceptable to you, I think we can move on and
Okay.
we can give you a blessing. But if you want to stick to 26 feet and go to that, which is your option,
Okay.
but then you need to go to the zoning board to get an approval for that because it's past what the code
What the
is.
code says, and we have to follow that.
So it's kind of up to you. If you're okay with the
And-
23, we can move on and kind of give that to you. So that's stretching it to max.
Yeah.
But if you really want to go to 26, you still have that option, but you need to go to the zoning board to get the approval for
And
that.
and what's that process like? I mean, just
Similar to what we're doing here, but it's
Yeah.
just called a zoning board. And then you talk about the reasons why you want to,
Well, the other thing is you get to post to the neighbors. It has to be, you have to have a sign out asking for the change in zone. That'd be so many weeks before the meeting. You got to notify your neighbors that you're doing this.
You
Yes,
know
we
what?
can for variance.
You know what?
Yeah.
3 feet works.
Okay.
I'll make that happen.
All right,
Okay.
we'll write it up that way.
Yeah.
And we're going to pitch it off to the side.
Yeah, I'm gonna pitch it off to that side, that 4.5 foot by
So
38.
it'll be a little bit wider now. It'll be more
Yeah,
green
a
space
little wider, true. Yeah.
to grab the water.
Yep.
All right,
Would it be easier for you to pitch it to both sides? Just have it peak in the
crown
middle,
it.
crown it?
I mean, it's possible, just the natural pitch of the land right now, it tends to go to that one side. And I think if I add another 3 feet to that 4.5, I think that'll be plenty. That'll be substantial, you know.
I'm just thinking of the way it looks instead of having a driveway that's
Oh, instead of
crooked like that. If you
Okay.
had it crowned in the middle, and it might look more,
like uniform.
it's up to you.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I could definitely have that conversation with my contractor, but either way,
Yeah.
it'll be pitched to my land.
That's what I would do. See
Yeah.
what he thinks is the best.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
So you get a letter from us with approval for 23 feet wide and
All right.
pitching rainwaters off to the north side.
Off to the side. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Really appreciate it.
right.
Good luck.
Your time.
Thank you.
Have a
Good
great
luck.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.
Ready for 53 Yacht Club?
Yes.
Okay.
Mrs. Edwards.
They should have the village of Atwood.
Okay, do we have a representative for,
Yes, you have Todd O'Connell, the architect.
okay. Very good.
Yep, we're here.
We're here.
We're here. I don't know if you can see us.
We do have
That's my
Ms.
client.
Edwards
That's
on the
my
phone,
clients, the
yes.
Chardons. So they're listening in.
Stop my
Okay,
video. Hold on. There we are.
There we go. Okay.
here we are. Okay, welcome.
All right. Thank you. So the Chardons are looking to build a new home in your beautiful community. And we're here for two things. One is the front driveway, obviously.
Right.
Looking to have a driveway which is less than 50% of the property itself. We are going to drain it onto their property. We'll, berm the property so it goes to the grass area on each side of the driveway. The driveway is really just a single car width, and then there's an extension for entry into the house. But parking wise, we still got plenty of parking because this is a raised home. We have parking under the house for additional parking area. And we're also before you because we have some rear decks. Now this house is on the Great South Bay, beautiful views. So we're building, back decks. There are no stairs that go to the ground level. These decks and balconies are strictly accessible from the inside of the house. Obviously it's just, it's important for, the view. I mean, this is why they bought the property. It's just such a gorgeous view over there. And that's what we're here for today.
Okay.
I was just curious, you said there's going to be parking under the house?
Yes, a garage, internal
Oh,
garage.
Okay, because I was wondering if it was just going to be open, because I saw on the plan the garage doors and so forth.
Yeah, no, it's all enclosed, so it's
So
inside.
are there 2 garages, correct?
Well, ultimately, we would have liked to have one on the opposing side, but to stay in line with the village codes in terms of paving area and everything, we've elected to, just work with the one side, but still try to keep some of the symmetry view of the home, where possibly bicycles or some
Okay.
other storage.
You can have a driveway, the second garage, we just don't want you to put another driveway in.
Right.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So that's what we're doing.
Just one curb cut.
Correct.
What is the width of the proposed driveway?
The width of the proposed driveway is 14 feet plus the extension area that leads to the front door.
Okay. And it's concrete surface area?
No, Peter, have you made a final selection? I think we were talking about pavers.
Yes, I think it's gonna be it'll definitely be pavers.
Pavers, okay. Okay, so the curb cut that's there now for the property, that's not gonna, the curb cut you're gonna utilize, correct?
No.
That's correct.
Yeah, it looks like that cuts in the middle where you're gonna put it on the side then.
Yeah, it's a little bit shifted, so to the left.
Mhm.
That's like straight right in the middle of the property right there.
Right.
Right. So any curb cut going into the street, we would ask you to coordinate with the superintendent of highways
Of course.
down the village. Okay. One driveway, pavers, you're gonna pitch through the driveway so that the rainwater goes
Into our own grass, each side of the, we're gonna berm it in the middle, pitch it from the middle to each side.
Great. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions about the driveway?
No,
No,
Okay. Second story decks.
Yes.
You have a little balcony, is that also, or?
Yeah. This is a 3-story home, obviously due to the flood zone. And we have off of the kitchen and family room on the first floor. We have, or the second floor, let's call it, the main living space. We have a small balcony. And then we also have one that comes off of the master suite on the upper level.
Right.
But there are no stairs. There's nothing that leads down to the ground level from there. It's really just for the enjoyment of the views.
And they're not enclosed, correct?
Not enclosed, correct. They're covered, but not enclosed.
What about lighting? Will there be any lighting on these balconies?
There wouldn't be any outward lighting. We're gonna go with dark sky lighting. So this way you're not lighting up the sky.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we would like to have the lighting, of course, to be shielded so that's not the
Exactly, dark sky. Yep.
neighbor's property.
Right.
So those little Juliet balconies are really on the first floor, in the front.
In the front, yeah, they're really just decorative.
Right.
It's really just to get a look that they're going for.
Right, and so we're looking at mainly the second floor, the rear of the building. How many square feet is that?
The entire house?
No, I'm sorry, just the deck.
Oh, just the deck area. Just give me one moment in that.
think I saw it.
Each one, the second floor is slightly larger, but the first floor, we're looking at, it's got a slight angle on it, so it's cut off, but we have about 200 square feet on the living side, and then on the upper level, we're building 260 square feet.
Okay.
And the derivative, the difference between the two is really just from a design feature is why they vary in size, just with the design features we're going for.
Okay. I think they're compatible with the area. Anybody else have any concerns about the second story deck?
No,
Yeah, it looks good.
Just the elevation, the total elevation.
In term, what elevation of, I'm sorry?
No, the whole
height
house from
above
the,
ground,
yeah,
or?
yeah.
Well, we're not looking for any relief, but the total height of the house is 29 or just about 30 feet from base flood elevation, +2. But we conform with all the height requirements of the village.
Okay.
So your FEMA is 5 + 2?
We're FEMA compliant, yes.
Just curious, is there any wave action in that height calculation in that area?
In that particular area, there is no wave action there.
Okay. That's just curious. So,
2 houses down there is.
wow. Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
No, Jim.
Looks like a beautiful house. Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Yes.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much. All
yeah,
right, take care. Bye-bye.
congratulations.
Great.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
We're ready for 27 Walbridge.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you today?
Very good, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. So why don't you tell us what you'd like to do here?
Sure. So currently we have a gravel driveway. It is a single car driveway. And what we'd like to do is expand that by removing the gravel. That's the current view. So as you can see, it's more of a lack of a driveway at the moment. So what we'd like to do is we'd like to remove the concrete that you're seeing on the right side of the home and expand that to a 20-foot wide driveway, which would be blacktop lined with Belgian block. And what we'd like to do with the curb cut is create a Belgian block apron.
Okay. I believe we spoke the other day about drainage and you want to accomplish that by pitching your driveway?
Yes, we'd like to pitch it to the left and right lawn, if that works. Obviously, we would just need to discuss regarding the Belgian block line. We wanted to have that raised, but if we would not be able to do that due to drainage, then we could have it a flush surface.
Yeah, well, it would have to be flush.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay. The apron, we would ask you to coordinate with the village superintendent of highway for his guidance in doing the apron.
Sure.
We can get you contracted to, or you yourself can go down there prior to your contractor starting.
Wonderful.
You said that the main field of the driveway will be asphalt?
Yes.
Correct? Okay. 20 feet wide is acceptable. Flush on the Belgian block and asphalt. Does anybody have any concerns or?
No,
None, no.
Nope,
no,
none.
it's gonna dress the house up nicely.
Yeah, it'll look nice.
So you,
Very much needed.
you'll get a letter from us for approval for the driveway. 20 feet wide, asphalt field, Belgian block flush, and pitch the drain off into the surrounding landscaped area.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Have a great
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah, have a
You
good evening.
too, thank you. This is the last one already?
yeah,
This was quick.
I have a total of 5 attendees I'm gonna add for this final one. Here we go.
okay. Everybody home? No. Is that everybody? So we're gonna, or we're waiting for Wayne or Frank?
Can I start? This is Wayne Edwards.
Okay, we didn't know if you were gonna come in with video, but you're good.
I don't know why your video's not on. Let me just take a look.
Okay, and Frank too.
There we go. How's that? How's that?
There you are. Thank
There
you.
you go.
I know you wanted to see me. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. For the record, my name is Wayne Edwards, Son Ward, Casignano, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York. I'm the attorney for the applicant, City MD. We're before you for a planning board approval to convert a building which is located 8 Little East Neck Road in the village of Babylon. The property is 30,731 square feet for 0.71 acres. It fronts on 3 different streets. To the north is Perrydale Court. To the east is Little East Neck Road. And to the south is Montauk Highway. It has 2 existing curb cuts, one on Perrydale Court and the other on Montauk Highway. There is no curb cut on Little East Neck Road. The property, I'm sure you're aware, is improved with a 1.5-story building, which is 4,591 square feet. It was originally constructed as a North Fork bank. I think it went around 2006. The North Fork eventually sold out to Capital One. It was operated as a Capital One bank until a few years ago. It's been vacant since then. I believe that North Fork Bank received a special use permit in the residence O zone for the building with a drive-through window, which is located on the west side of the building. This is an application to convert the existing building into a city MD, which is an urgent care center. City MD has a presence in a number of sites within Suffolk County, Long Island, and the metropolitan area. It has submitted plans drawn by R&M Engineering and Conceptual Design, our architects. The project area, which details the conversion of the existing site into a city MD site. The first floor of the building is 3,485 square feet. That was the bank building. There was a small mezzanine of 746 square feet. For this operation, will be no drive-through window. The parking will provide 24 parking spots with 22.9 spots required. City MD is also closing, if you note the plans, the drive-through area. They tend to basically install pavers, landscaping, and some outdoor seating area with 4 tables. The purposes would be for staff to utilize this area for breaks and for visitors while they are waiting for patients in the building. And also, while this plan was submitted pre-COVID, it actually is a place for people to wait rather than going inside the building and using the waiting area to wait outside until they're ready to be called. The hours of operation will be 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the weekends, with 7 to 8 employees. They include 1 medical doctor, 3 to 4 clinical support staff, a manager, 2 front desk administrators. Typically, this type of center will see between 30 and 40 patients per day. The typical time visit is about 32 minutes. The bump time, or when it's most busy, is usually 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. This information is based on their experience in the New York metropolitan area. They operate approximately 150 locations. They operate without an appointment. You just come down and come to see a physician. I draw your attention to the concept design plan number A100, which shows that the proposed interior layout, which shows 7 exam rooms, an X-ray room, lab, a reception area, office for the manager, a staff lounge, various bathrooms. The mezzanine is being used strictly for storage. Plan A200 shows the south elevation and finish. Basically, all will remain the same as existing, which is very attractive. The landscaping, which currently exists, has grown in and will be filled in. The applicant will do so, keeping in mind to keep proper sight lines and keep control along the curb cuts open so that cars can exit the property safely. We also produced a photometric plan. The only additional lighting we'll be adding will be to the drive-through area, which is being repurposed. It's the same. They'll use the same lighting style, which is a new classical Victorian light pole and top. If you're not familiar with the urgent care or City MD, they offer a variety of services. I have with me a representative from City MD if you have any questions regarding our operation. I also have with me Matthew Alward, who is from R&M Engineering, who did the site design, as well as Ken Kim, who from Concept Design, who was an architect. In terms of, for the village, this is an ideal repurposing of the village. It provides a service for the village. It requires a special use permit from the Board of Zoning Appeals for the RO1 zone. There's been a lack of doctors becoming internists. Urgent care facilities filled this void. They offer medical services when needed without waiting for an appointment or making an appointment for those patients who can't get to their doctor in a timely fashion or don't have a doctor. They also avoid unnecessary trips to the emergency room. We're requesting that the board approve this site plan tonight. Our next step, as I indicated, will be to the Village Board of Zoning Appeals. And we have a scheduled meeting with the Village Board of Zoning Appeals for July 15th. So if we can get an approval tonight, we can have our hearing on July 15th and get this place open. We are under some time consideration because of the COVID virus pandemic. Things got delayed, and our landlord is getting very anxious. So that concludes my presentation to the board. Again, I have 3 people here already to answer any questions, and we will do our best to do that.
Okay, the lighting, you said you're gonna change it, but go back with the same style, is that correct?
It's the same style. The only thing we're doing is adding to the drive-through area another pole, which will meet that same style that's there.
Okay, so the other poles stay.
Yes, everything else stays the same.
Very good.
Actually converting the metal halide to LED.
Okay,
Give your appearance when you answer
I'm
questions.
sorry,
So
Matthew
the board
Elwood, R&M.
so the metal halide will go to LEDs.
We're switching them over to LEDs, yes.
So the footprint is not changing.
No.
The footprint's not changing. The only thing that's getting taken out is the drive-through window.
Yeah. And you're going to keep that beautiful roof.
I'll let Ken Kim answer that to make sure, but I'll think yes.
Yeah, all exterior fenestration will be untouched. We only are interested in doing interior renovation.
And your signage would have to go, well, Jim will explain, but that's another.
The signage all goes to the
Architecture review board.
That's in the village. You would have to make application for any signage that you would want to put on.
We understand that, and I would imagine the Capital One sign will be coming down.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I'm surprised they left it up.
You, on the plans, you indicate a dumpster being added, is that correct?
Yes. If you look at the plan, it's located near Perrydale on the west side of the building, above the parking spot.
So that dumpster should sit on a concrete pad,
Yes.
It'll be,
6-inch thick concrete pad with, surrounded by a chain link fence with privacy slats in it to obscure it.
That's correct.
Yes. That's just
Med-
normal waste, medical waste.
Medical waste removal.
the medical waste removal is removed in accordance with New York State Department of Health laws and Suffolk County Department of Health laws. Very, very, very carefully. So
So
it's
that's
kept,
big- That's
it's
basically
not going in, it's not going to be going into the dumpsters.
Right. That's done by an outside contractor. correct?
Outside contractor, yes.
What about the DOT?
What?
The Department of Transportation? Now, does that have to be looked at as far as, or as far as the flow of traffic?
Well, in terms of, we're using the existing curb cuts and using the existing building, so I don't believe so. In addition, in terms of traffic and impact on the traffic patterns, this type of facility has a lot less in and outs and employees than the bank had, for example. We're not having a drive-through window. We're not going to have people running into an ATM. It's a much quieter and gentle use.
A better neighbor.
I'm sure it will be.
But you have no problem reaching out to DOT to make sure there's no issues?
We will do that.
Okay, perfect. It's only because it's within, so many feet of a state road, okay? So you have 7 to 8 staff per shift?
Yes, well, a shift is usually thought of as an 8-hour period. I think doctors should, the doctor should indicate that, but it's basically 7 to 8 on the premises at one time.
Right.
A doctor, 3 to 4 clinical support staff, and then 2 people at the reception desk and a manager.
And how about the lab people? Is that your support staff?
That's all. Yeah, that's all within the support, the clinical support staff.
And the manager, is that like an administrative type person? Not so
Yes.
much
Is this a corporate facility, a chain facility?
It's
We are-
City MD is a corporate material.
No, can I answer that? I'm sorry.
Yes.
City MD, the practice is a single practice tax ID. So we operate as a medical doctor's office under a single practice model. Our management company is a holding company that manages back of the house, but the clinical practice is, as per the state of New York, is not a corporate entity due to corporate practice regulations. So it is a private practice under a physician-owned medical license.
And I'm sure from the bank's use, this building is handicap accessible, but I'm just trying to, because it's all flat, I'm assuming the sidewalk's flat, you just go flat inside the building. There's no stairs.
That is
Ken,
correct.
can you answer? Ken, can you answer
Kenny from
that?
Concept Design, that is correct. There's no ADA issues with, I believe, from the parking to access to the interior space, we have no elevation that does not adhere to ADA compliance.
Okay.
You know that all interior renovations will require a building permit, correct?
Yes, we are aware.
That goes through the Babel Building Department. correct?
Repeat that, Jim. You were garbled.
I was saying that the interior renovations will require a building permit from the Babylon Village Building Department. They are aware of that.
Correct.
I can't think of any other questions.
No.
The you said the shift is 8 hours, but
No,
you're
I said it's not a tip, you know, if the place is open 12 hours, not, we can't run through 6 hours. I would let the doctor talk about the movement of personnel during the day. I
Yeah,
think.
certainly. So as you heard, about 7 to 8 employees. We have various shift lengths. We do have 12-hour shifts. A lot of our doctors work 12-hour shifts. Some of the support staff work 6 and 8s and alternate, but we have 6-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, and 12-hour shifts.
Okay.
Depending on coverage. When there's a single doctor on, that doctor will usually work a 12-hour shift.
So it's normally one doctor per shift?
Yeah, it's one doctor at all times.
Right.
If the site gets, let's say, a Monday morning were to get particularly busy on the schedule, you might have a 6-hour shift in the morning for an extra nurse. That's where this double coverage comes in. But generally speaking, we predict that about 30 to 40 patients per day, this site will need a single doctor. So that would likely be a single 12-hour shift for that provider.
So
And I guess you
deal with emergency cases. You don't have somebody would come down for a annual checkup or let's say drug treatment or something like that.
We don't do drug treatment we don't do drug treatment per se. We do medical checkups. We act as a urgent care, and we do routine physicals. People do medical checkups, blood pressure, prescriptions, etc. We do everything from basic primary care to urgent care. We do not provide for life-threatening care, so heart attacks, strokes, major trauma. Our doctors are all board certified in internal or emergency medicine, so they're able to. We all actually trained at North Shore LIJ, the founders of the company, and so a lot of our doctors are ER trained as well, and we're able to deal with episodic based injury and standard primary care. Pretty much everything but life-threatening.
And getting back to the parking, it's 24 spots and 2 are handicapped, correct? Sorry.
That's correct.
Matt?
Yes, that's correct.
2 handicapped out of that 24, okay.
2 handicap stalls.
Anybody else have any questions?
No.
No,
So the lighting, any additional lighting would of course be non-intrusive to the neighborhood.
The parking lot has good drainage, Jim.
It from the civil drawings, it looks like it does have enough.
Yeah, it's 20 drains, three drainage areas, and it looks very
That's
efficient.
that's good.
Good. Talked about the dumpster, and that would be it. Just reaching out to DOT to make sure that it's done.
God bless you.
Did short form.
Should go to urgent care.
Bless you. We'll see you right away.
They'll give me a COVID test.
We can arrange for that. We can arrange for that. We do about 10,000 a day across our
Yeah,
system.
I've already had 2. That's enough.
The city MDs, have they been testing test sites set up outside their buildings in other locations?
Not outside, but we've in New York City, we partnered with the mayor's office to be part of the testing and screening study they're doing. So everyone who comes into a city MD, regardless of what they're coming in for, primary care, ankle sprain, gets a COVID test by part of the city study. And then we also obviously offer for people who want to get tested. Right now, the incidence of positive is incredibly low. But back in April, we were seeing about 45 to 50% of everyone who came into a facility was testing positive. Today, it's about 0.5% of everyone coming in is testing positive. So
Great.
quite a change. Yeah, positive change.
Here, I have no other questions. Anybody else?
No.
No, Jim.
All I can add is that I know you're in a hurry to get to the ZBA. If we'll get your letter written as fast as we can. Please get us something from the DOT as fast as you can, so that'll facilitate that. So
Will do.
Okay.
You said you were on their calendar for the,
15th.
yeah.
Thank you all
Okay.
for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Stay safe, everybody.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, troops, that's it, huh?
That,
That's it.
not bad.